Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. You see, it is our responsibility, it is our duty to make our democracy strong. To make our democracy strong, we need to act for our democracy. For us to act for our democracy, we need to know how our democracy is functioning. We need to know how our parliament is functioning. We need to know how our representatives are functioning. We need to know how our administration is functioning. We need information. I have been constantly trying to talk about various aspects of our democracy, though most of it are not trending topics, therefore there are no great viewing numbers that I get, but all the same I try and give information about our democracy, and that's precisely what I intend to do today also, because in a way that is my mission. That is why I sit in front of you and talk to you. Today let us talk about this very pertaining topic. Should we talk about caste, creed, religion when it comes to politics? My answer is, to a certain extent, yes. Let's get right into the show. A lot of you may have already been surprised with my answer. I have constantly been saying that we should be talking development and not religion, not caste, not community. We need to talk about development. And today I am saying that yes, caste, creed and religion is also important in politics. There is a reason. And I have my reasons to say that. You see, representation and guarding the interest of the community is politics. End of the day, what is politics? Politics is representing a constituency, representing a community, bringing their problems to the fore, bringing their difficulties in the fore, ensuring that resources of the country is given to them, is acquired by them, ensuring that that particular community, that particular constituency is uplifted. That precisely is what politics is all about, isn't it? Why communities are important? Because at times, minorities especially may not have the numbers in a constituency where they automatically become the members of the parliament or they become representation. So somewhere down the line, at some point, some kind of a reservation or some kind of an impetus on getting certain communities, certain minorities. I'm sure we've got 3,000 castes in this country, 3,000 castes. We cannot ensure that every caste mein ek aadmi comes to the parliament. We have only 543 seats when it comes to assembly and 403 seats in Uttar Pradesh when it comes to Lok Sabha and 403 seats when it comes to say assembly like Uttar Pradesh. But that is what we are working with, right? So the fact is, it is not that we can get it in every caste, but at least major minorities, substantial minorities, their representation in the assembly stroke Lok Sabha is important, is necessary. Because they can then talk about their community. Like I said, they can talk about the resources to their community. They can talk about the problems their community faces. Now, this is very important. And that is why, to a certain extent, caste, community, religion is important to politics. But why I say that, you see, today the way caste, community and religion is used is not to help the caste or community. Representation, talking about the problems, trying to develop that particular community, acceptable. But using one community against the other, that's where the problem is. If I am a Hindu leader, if I say, listen, Hindu ko Musalmanon se khatra hai, that is the problem. That is polarization and that is what is harmful. Talking about Hindus, talking about Muslims, talking about Christians, talking about Sikhs, talking about Dalits, talking about Jains, talking about upper caste, talking about Savarnas, talking about Thakurs, talking about Brahmins, it's all fine. It's fine. Because fine, you're talking about your community, you're talking about their development, which is good. which is nothing wrong. But because I am a Brahman, I should be against a Thakur, or because I am a Thakur, I should be against a Dalit. Because I am a Dalit, I should be against somebody. That's where it all goes wrong, and that's where our politics is going to. So please clearly understand the difference. So that's the point I wanted to make. Representation is important. Why am I talking this point? Why am I making this point? Is because, see, for instance, let's give an example of gender. 50%, roughly 50% of India are women. And you know what is the representation of women in the Lok Sabha? Our representation is 14.4%, 78 women in the Lok Sabha of 543. You tell me, is it fair? Is this fair representation? Is it good for the democracy? 543 members, but only 14% women. When 14% women is supposed to represent almost 50% of women of this country. As in 50% of the population of this country. My apologies. Is that fair? I'll give you another example. Let's take Uttar Pradesh, for instance. Okay, the number of Muslim candidates that different parties in Uttar Pradesh fielded since 1996. I've got a data. This data is from BBC. I've got a data, and check this out, and then we'll talk about it. In 1996, Bharatiya Janata Party fielded 0 Muslims. Others fielded 10.07% Muslims. BSP fielded 17.3% Muslims. SP fielded 17.48% Muslims. 2002, Bharatiya Janata Party fielded 0 Muslims. Others fielded 15.51% Muslims. BSP 19.72%, SP 12.58%. 2007, 0 Muslim fielded by BJP. Others 13.49%, BSP 15.22%, SP 15.13%. 2012, 0 Muslim fielded by BJP. Others 17.47%, BSP 20.88%, SP 20.17%. 2017, 0 Muslim fielded by BJP. Others 16.67%, BSP 25.18%, SP 20.56%. There are 19% of Uttar Pradesh population is Muslim population. Out of 19% population, BJP has not found one person who can represent that 19% population. Now, the argument from BJP's perspective is that, listen, you know what? Why should you field a particular person from a particular community? You should field a person who is capable. Is that a valid argument? Of course, valid argument. But what I don't understand is, from a population of 20%, don't you find one person who is capable of representing that particular constituency? Representing his community? Is one person not capable? Is that fair? And can democracy function this way? My question tonight is, you see, representation should not be a political proposition. I will try and explain what I am saying. What I am trying to say is, I do not give seat to a particular community, Baba, because I don't want, I belong to a particular community and I believe in that particular community. Therefore, that other community, I will never allow them to come and fight elections in my ticket. That is wrong. Because there you are alienating a particular community by not offering seats, not offering a candidature, not offering an opportunity to represent that community in the parliament, in the assembly. You're alienating that community. And if you alienate that community, the result is going to be very, very, very disastrous for our democracy, and possibly more disastrous for our country. You know, as a kid, a lot of people inspired me. A lot of great leaders inspired me. I was very deeply inspired by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. I genuinely was. You know, we had a history, the entire history book on one particular class of ours in our days was completely dedicated to Shivaji. Greatly inspired. His stories, his bravery, the way he fought, the way he dealt with people, the secularism that he practiced. Humongously inspired. I revered Mahatma Gandhi. And I later on, as I progressed in life, I read a lot of his books. Even I tried to kind of follow him wherever I can. Like I wrote somewhere, I tried to follow the policy of brotherhood. I tried to follow his policy of non-violence. I am never capable enough to follow his experiments with truth, is because it is beyond my capability. I am not even 1/100th of what he is. So I am not able to do all that. But I tried to follow him. I am amazed by the way Vallabhbhai Patel dealt with politics, dealt with people, dealt with situation. Amazing. Those are management lessons. I am absolutely thrilled with the way Baba Saheb Ambedkar designed this constitution, where he kept everybody, while he was talking about Dalit, but constitution, he was fair to everybody, every caste, every creed. He ensured that everybody could be treated equally if we follow our constitution the way he has designed it. I'm amazed. I mean, these people were people I grew up getting inspired by. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, his organizational capacity, his guts, sheer guts that man had. You see, those characters, those great men build my character, build my understanding about my country called India. That is the India that I know, and that is the India that I talk to you about. These big men, these great people. It is not that these great leaders didn't have differences between them. Of course they had. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar had his differences with Mahatma Gandhi. Vallabhbhai Patel had his differences with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He had his differences with Nehru, and so on and so forth. They had their differences, but those differences didn't come in their way, in their politics. Those differences they never went out and say that Netaji never said that I am bigger than Mahatma Gandhi Baba, or Mahatma Gandhi never went and said that I am bigger than Netaji, or neither did Vallabhbhai Patel said that I am bigger than Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. They never said that. In fact, they backed each other when it came to the country, and it came to policies, and it came to the betterment of this country. They backed each other. You see, because they focused, first they focused on getting our country freedom. That was their focus. Rest, everything was not relevant to them. Once the country got freedom, their focus was to ensure that we get food, they get food on the table for every Indian. That was their focus. Build economy, build industry, build education system. That was their focus. Unite the country together. That was their focus. They didn't have time to say, "Arey, wo bada hai, ye bada hai, main bada hai, main Vishwa Guru hai, main wo Guru hai, main ye." They didn't have the time for all of that. People like Indira Nui, people like Sundar Pichai, people like Satya Nadal, people like Arvind Krishna, people like Leena Nair. These are people who grew by getting inspired by these leaders. These were their idols. This is what they grew up. This is what they saw on television. This is what they read in their history books. Now imagine, what are we teaching our children? Netaji is bigger than Mahatma Gandhi. Vallabhbhai Patel would have been better than Nehru. Nehru would have been better than Vallabhbhai Patel. What are we teaching our children? One thing let me tell you. Have you heard of this word disillusioned youth in 1970? Did you ever hear of this word disillusioned youth in 1980s, in 1990s, even in 2000? Today, the World Economic Forum says that the biggest problem, the biggest risk in India is that our youth is disillusioned. Who is disillusioning our youth? When you are going to make your leaders fight, divide your leader saying that he is anti-India, or Netaji is better than Mahatma Gandhi is better than somebody else, and somebody else is better than somebody else. If you are going to divide your leader for your political needs, your youth will have nothing to get inspired by. Don't take away that from our youth. Don't take away these great characters from our youth, these great figures from our youth's life. Don't confuse our youth, because that's going to have large ramification on our country, and this disillusionment among the youth is only going to grow. This is a warning sign. That's the point I wanted to make tonight. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.